So, we're all afraid of something. It could be spiders, it could be heights, it could be pineapples on pizza, it could be standing here on stage in front of a heck ton of people trying to give a speech, because I know I'm afraid of that. But nevertheless, here I am. It could also be something a little deeper than that. The fear of losing someone you love, or the fear of being left behind. But what I'm about to talk to you about today is the fear of people. And it might sound a bit crazy at first, but I know that some of you introverts in the crowd are going, yes, I know exactly what you mean. But some extroverts might not think this is very relatable. But nevertheless, give it a thought for a few seconds. All of us are influenced about how people might think of us, how they might react, what they might say, how they might behave. And this has changed the way and influenced our decisions that we make on a day-to-day basis. How many of us have spent time before the first day of school standing in the mirror trying to personalize our outfit and just maybe trying to make ourselves look a little more cool or pretty? How many of us have subjected into peer pressure? And if you don't know what that is, it's basically doing what others do in hopes of trying to fit in. But is it wrong to be likable? I mean, is it wrong to personalize your experience? Is it wrong to want to be appreciated? Definitely not. But at the expense of your own happiness, that's when it's a problem. We don't realize that when we do these things, we get rid of little pieces of ourselves. And someday it might reach to a point where we don't really know who we are anymore. And that's a problem. I mean, I'm sure that most of us are happy that we've left those really dumb status updates on Facebook and those horrible selfies behind. And that's in the past where it belongs. But you see, things like these are just natural. They're a part of growth. These things happen to everyone. Change is essential till it becomes something that you regret. So, for example, when it's exam week, you can see a lot of students close to the brink of insanity, and their greatest motivator is to avoid the wrath of their parents. You can hear people going like, oh, I just flunked my chemistry test so bad. And the other person's like, oh yeah, well I got 6 out of 20 in math. And if you got bad grades just as much as I did, you're gonna be happy that you don't know my mom. And that's why people don't like PCM meetings that much. But what's the point of me saying all this? It's to prove that people, no matter who they are that surround you, like your parents, your friends, your teachers, even and especially the person you like, influence your behavior and the way you make decisions. Now, about people that we like, we're just gonna leave that for another day because that's another closet full of skeletons and deserves a speech of its own. Don't fear imperfection. You don't have to fear not being able to step up to the plate. Mistakes make us who we are, and all these imperfections and shortcomings, they're what makes us unique, and that's how we answer to things differently. There's no such thing as a perfect individual. Don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to look different. Don't be afraid of a crooked nose, an uneven smile, or brows that are not so Instagram worthy. You could show up outside in sweatpants and oversized t-shirts, or you could wear dresses, be fancy, put on some makeup. It doesn't matter, because we're all beautiful. If we all strive for one image of beauty, then wouldn't we all look the same? So I have with me here the actual definition of beauty, straight from the dictionary, and I'm going to read it out to you. It says that beauty is a combination of qualities such as shape, color, or form that pleases the aesthetic senses. So this is beauty, right? I mean, this is the criteria to be beautiful. But you see, the problem lies within our very definition of beauty, because beauty comes in different shapes, colors, and sizes. What's ugliness? The opposite of beauty. And while my definition of beauty might be a lot far from the internet definition, my definition of ugliness is kind of spot on. And it shows in your attitude, the kind of attitude that allows people to be placed into these suffocating labels. Have you ever looked down on someone like that? Because I know I have, and I'm not proud of it, but I've been on both sides of the coin. And I know just how much it hurts to be just another kid under just another label. Believe it or not, I used to be a big introvert. And if I never moved on from that, I wouldn't be here today, and I would just be one of the other kids living under the labels that the other kids in my grade put me under. But you see, most of us, we have so many opportunities lying in front of us. The chance to make life worthwhile, the chance to make memories that last. And we just throw it all away for what use? See, we don't understand that out of all the things that we could fear in this world, there's nothing that actually stands in the way of our happiness except our own mentality. And yet, the thing we're most afraid of is sometimes to just be ourselves. You guys ever played that game 100 Doors on your phone? Well, a lot of people have told me that they haven't, so I'm just going to explain it to you. It's a mobile app that you can get off the Play Store. So what happens is that each level, you're presented with a scene and a door. There's always one door. And in this scene, there are hidden clues which you need to find to be able to unlock this door. And that's basically what every level is about, unlocking door after door and finding these hidden clues. And if you think about it, that's kind of how life works. We're all basically in this one big race trying to open door after door and break through wall after wall. And some levels are really difficult. And sometimes you just can't break through that door. Sometimes there are clues that are hidden and they're so obvious but you just can't see them. Sometimes you can't see them without other people to help you find out these clues, to find a different perspective from where you're standing. And then some levels are super easy and you just walk through them like a breeze. But nothing compares to the feeling of unlocking that final door, placing in the final piece of that puzzle, to be met with this beautiful view that breaks through behind a wall that you thought was once unbreakable. So what I have to say to you in conclusion today is to take a hold of your fears and to take a hold of your happiness. Weigh them and know which one to put first. Thank you.